Welcome to our channel, Metaphysical Awakening. Some may be new to our channel and may be wondering who I am and what we do. My name is Aya and I'm a metaphysical practitioner. I work alongside my mom, Hitomi, and what we do is basically use our metaphysical abilities to help others. And what I mean by metaphysical abilities is that these are innate abilities that we all have. We just haven't been in tune with them is all. You'll experience using them once in a while without ever truly realizing it, but they leave a question in your mind as to whether that was just a coincidence, or did you really in fact predict that to happen? Did you see it coming as it played out in your mind before it happened? Or did you feel some sort of apprehension when you heard someone saying something, as if something didn't seem quite right about what he or she said? Something seemed off. Well, what did you pick up, and how did you pick that something up? You see, we all experience these and more throughout our lifetime, but what are they and why do we experience them? Well, in my experience, I find them to be additional senses that we have on top of our physical senses, such as, touch, smell, sight, hearing, and taste. I believe they direct us in some sense and also bridge the gap of understanding that exists between you and I, between you and nature, between you and all sentient beings. They give us the understanding we need to make it through life without it being meaningless. You see, life without meaning would be a horrible, horrible existence. Without it, we see no reason to move on. So these additional senses that we have, which are considered beyond the physical, which explains the prefix meta, are meaningful in such that they help us move through life with a deeper understanding and consideration when it comes to many aspects of life, no matter what situation you're coming from. So you see, using these abilities, which again are naturally a part of you and I, will help us gain access to things we had never, imagined. People will say this and that about it, but it's not until you experience it for yourself that you realize what it's really like and what it's really about. For some, they choose to access knowledge. For others, they feel this pull to do something with their natural talents, or may receive self-encouragement from someone to do so. Some may just want to experience it and will definitely learn quite a bit from it. We're all different in how we come about it, but all roads tend to lead to spirituality. We may use different methods to get there, such as through meditation, grounding oneself by standing barefoot, on the grass, or leaning up against a tree, or perhaps doing Reiki or some sort of energy work, Tai Chi, tarot card reading, or being a metaphysical practitioner like ourselves, basically doing just about all of those things and more. There's a long list of things that one can do in order to test how far their abilities will go. Some will specialize in one area more than others, and each is important to the movement. What is the movement about, one may ask? Well, for me, it's about the mental and spiritual health of the mind and body of an individual. Working solely on the individual, I feel, is of the utmost importance. Therefore, how can we heal as a society from some kind of mental catastrophe? And what I mean by this is that whether we're taken over by, some form of dictatorship, or have gone through some form of natural disaster, or some kind of violent protest takes place in your area or in a country, it still comes down to the individual mental health within each society to make it through these situations. Individual health should be of the utmost importance, some would say, and I'd have to agree. If we take care of ourselves individually, we can do a great service of helping others individually too, and not let anyone feel left out. Individuality doesn't necessarily mean selfishness to me. It can also mean great care and service to others if we look at it that way, helping each other out on an individual basis. Now, some may ask what I mean by spirituality. Well, to explain it in the most basic way I can explain it, not to make this a much longer video than it already is going to be, spirituality for me is quite basic actually. What I see when I look at people's energy is just that, energy. Within that energy, I see all the frequencies that make up the person's energy. Well, I shouldn't say all, but there's a lot that I do see. It's kind of crazy actually what's all there. It's basically a reflection of who you are on the inside. You see, we're made up of not just a single layer of frequency, like all tied in together in one form. Imagine a bubble, and within that bubble you see a wide array of colors arranged in a singular form, all running and flowing in one direction, going upward. And in that bubble you see other frequencies or colors that are arranged in a different way, moving in a different direction, going south. Now another set layered on top of another flowing east, and another set flowing west. You see, it's more complicated than that, but I just wanted you to get a feel for what I see when I'm looking at another person's energy. When the energy bubble, and we'll call it that for now, you see some colors that are displayed foremost, and others that are more, let's say, behind the curtains because they're dimmer. Those frequencies are not expressed much in this lifetime due to, the lifestyle that the individual has. But the ones displayed the most, that comes out quite expressively to you and I, are their foremost energy frequencies, in such that they are the characteristics of the person that which are displayed the most. So if they are a happy-go-lucky person, like me, you'll see yellow, for example, and perhaps some orange, depending on the person. I just happen to express quite a bit of orange with yellow, so it looks quite similar to, the blending of colors that may remind you of a sunset or a sunrise. But let's say if they are mostly sad and glum, then most likely you will see colors tied to those emotions, such as gray, which gives a sense of this weepy kind of emotion, but not like light gray, more like darkish gray, like a cloudy, rainy day. And you'll probably see blue. Yes, blue. And the tone of blue depends on the person, of course. Perhaps they're quite serious, and in that case it's like a deeper shade of blue, which you'll typically see from a Lapis Lazuli. But from others, you may see a lighter shade of blue, like that from blue lace agate. Whichever shade of blue it is typically expressed because of what's going on in the mind. Whatever thoughts or memory that's making them, sad. So anyways, going back to how I define spirituality would just be that. All that I explained to you in regards to energy frequency is what spirituality is to me. It's who we are beyond this physical body, essentially. I hope that makes sense. So come along with me as I share my experiences with what I do as a metaphysical practitioner and what I have experienced along the way. My mom, Hitomi, and I give consultations along with energy work, which are offered on our website, and I'll leave you with the links below. We also enjoy giving you information on the metaphysical properties of stones, which can be useful for your own spiritual journey. So we find that making ourselves aware of stones and its metaphysical properties is the first step in spiritual awareness. Once we become sensitive to its energy frequencies and acknowledge how they are a part of us, and we are a part of them, do we fully recognize how connected we are when it comes to energy frequencies. And I'll go into that by showing some examples from our website. Now, you're probably thinking, what is she talking about? Well, I didn't fully recognize it myself when I first started working with stones, but now I've been working with them for some time, and I believe I started working with them in like 2014 or 2015. I don't know, sometime around then, when I decided to dive deeper into learning more about energy and so forth. The stones helped me further along in my waking up process. I feel that they were and still are helpful tools in my awakening journey, because although I had first started with meditation, and I mean a serious form of meditation, which meant being in a course for 10 days and meditating for 10 hours a day, stones helped me have a mental awareness of different frequencies and its interaction with our energy and our reaction to those frequencies. So they gave me the basic introduction into understanding energy frequencies. Meditation helps me ground myself and allow my energy to flow in a more continuous manner. When people leave meditation retreats, you would typically feel their energy vibrating at a rate that influences your energy too. You'll just know, wow, that retreat was very good for that person. And when you see them metaphysically, you will see their energy alive and moving well, the colors giving off a very vibrant frequency. And that's very well reflected on their physical characteristics too. Their eyes seem brighter and gentler, the lines of stress on their face have dissipated a bit, and they just look more relaxed and content. So it's nice to take time to go to those kinds of retreats, because you know that if it's done that much on their physical features, you could very well imagine what it's done for their mental health and physical organs within the body. It's truly sensational. Well, going back to stones, they have helped me in the way in which I had to really hone in on my abilities. It was like a training exercise for me, as well as for others who practiced alongside me, including my mom. We worked with all kinds of stones and eventually, built up a collection of stones ourselves. But then you wonder, how on earth can stones help anyone metaphysically? Well, this is where it gets interesting. Stones carry magnetic frequencies from the Earth's crust, and these magnetic frequencies have a lot to do with our evolutionary growth. It also has a lot to do with our own survival. I believe that without them, it would be quite difficult to survive. Imagine living on planet Mars, this great red planet. None of which exists on Mars is of the right balance for the human body. So, for example, the composition of Mars's crust or surface is different in that it's composed of many different materials that are similar to Earth to a varying degree. So its surface has a rich content, for example, a rich iron content, which accounts for the redness of the planet when it reacts with oxygen. Now, would this be the right condition for us to live in? No, I don't believe so, because too much iron can be harmful for our health. You see, not enough iron can be deadly. It accounts for anemia and other failing health conditions. But too much of it isn't good for us either. It can cause respiratory problems as well as digestive issues and organ damage. Basically it just wouldn't be pretty. Therefore, it makes it impossible to live there without wearing some special suit and food taken, with us from Earth. Even the genetic makeup of the plants on Earth are made for us to consume organically. Therefore, we were not made to be born and developed on Mars. Our body, in essence, would be calling to Earth because of our biological makeup, being Earthlings and all. Our body tends to magnetize towards Earth because of, what we're made of. I strongly believe that we were made that way to make sure we continue our growth on this planet. This is perhaps why there are no nearby planets that are habitable for human population. Just a theory. It just seems we're quite isolated from any planets that may have life, which I'm sure there are, but they seem to be just, out of our reach. Well, anyway, I have found that the different makeup of stones around the world tell us a little bit about ourselves. Perhaps you lean towards Lapis Lazuli, for instance. Why is that? Is it because you love the color, the look of it, the texture? What is it exactly that draws you to the stone? Well, let's have a look at our website, metaphysicalawakening.com. I set up a stone energy page with our description of, their metaphysical properties. So here's a page on Lapis Lazuli. Deep thinker, dreamlike state, pineal field, or the third eye. Lapis has got to be everyone's favorite. How could it not be? They are beautiful raw or polished and can be found everywhere. The distinct blue hue is what catches people's imagination. It takes you to a time when you dreamt of a world that was portrayed in Disney films as magical. This distinct color was often used to represent magic or a dreamlike state. When you think of the night sky, you think of stars dotted throughout the midnight blue horizon. It gives you a dreamy kind of feeling. In fact, this color can help calm you and may help you fall asleep. Yes, fall asleep. Think about it. Your pineal energy or chakra is represented by this color hue, blue. It's enhanced when you hold on to a lapis lazuli, which then in turn helps you see metaphysically. For those who have trouble sleeping due to the lack of melatonin released by the pineal, this stone may be the right one for you. As you lie in bed, hold on to a lapis lazuli and close your eyes. You'll doze off before you know it. It encourages your energy field in your brain to create or give off this nice blue energy frequency, which in turn settles you down and creates a sleepy effect on some individuals. It doesn't work on everyone, but it may work on quite a few people actually, so try it out. If you're having difficulties using your pineal or third eye to see metaphysically, try holding on to a nice piece of lapis and you'll see that it greatly enhances your seeing ability. It'll give you that added push you need to see better and clearer. The color also represents deep thinking. Oftentimes, when we look into the energy of a deep thinker, they give off this color hue. It represents a wealth of knowledge on the topic they discuss or are familiar with. Holding onto a piece of lapis lazuli can help deepen your understanding while researching a matter or while you're using your metaphysical abilities to understand a situation. It's a very good tool to have by your side. So, does it give you that dreamlike state where you're taken to your favorite childhood fantasy that involves magic of some kind? Or does the stone appear calming to you, where it reminds you of a beautiful starry night? Is it just a coincidence that you just happen to have it on your bedside table? Or perhaps you feel a pull to wear it around your neck when you're trying to visualize a technique you need to know for an exam? Or do you need a little help in the imagination department when writing a story or illustrating a book? Well, lapis lazuli is a wonderful stone that can help you in many different areas when it comes to the mind. Well, let's move on to another good one for those who are interested in healing. So I have one here on Dragonstone Jasper. This is actually a picture taken by my mom, he told me, of a beautiful slab of Dragonstone Jasper that she carries in her collection. Here's an interesting flat piece of Dragonstone Jasper. They're quite beautiful in raw form, and if you wet it, it has this slippery kind of look to it. When it comes to shopping for stones for medical use, these aren't usually at the top of the list, but they are good to have with you. Dragonstone Jasper has been used throughout the centuries for building homes in specific parts of the world. They were used not only for their beauty, but as a show of wealth too. The more money you had, the more of it you would use to show your status. Nowadays, it's mainly used for decorative items such as necklaces, pottery, and small statues. It's not as it's not as popular as the other stones that are mentioned, but they're nice to have because they're having a calming and grounding effect on your energy. For days when you need a little assistance in grounding yourself, hold on to a nice piece of Dragonstone Jasper, or put on a necklace made of it, and breathe deeply. The energy from the stone will help you ground yourself in such a way that you may feel like you're standing barefoot on the soil in a beautiful forest somewhere in northern Italy. This stone is also good for its healing properties. It has a way of working on your own energy to slow it down so that it can form a thick energy field around the body to concentrate its attention on healing, whether that's from a cold or recovering from surgery. The space between you and this barrier is coated with a thick green energy field that allows the body to essentially rest and do its work. The energy from the stone puts the body in healing mode. It reminds me of how you see a construction crew put up a sign signaling people in the area that it's a construction zone. Therefore, the body too is put in construction mode in a sense so that it can focus on that and only that. At times, when you look out to a sea of people and you relax your eyes to look at the sea of energy before you, you can easily identify who's sick and who's not from the shade of green enveloped around the individual, which signals healing. Well, wearing a necklace made of Dragonstone Jasper can assist in many different ways, but one tremendous job it does is healing. It can assist you in healing your energy frequencies, which then in turn works on your physical body. Remember, what you do spiritually or energetically will no doubt affect you physically and vice versa. Therefore, it doesn't hurt to wear a necklace made of Dragonstone Jasper once in a while, especially when you're healing. Enjoy the energy frequencies from this stone as you're grounding yourself and working on your energy frequencies to stay happy. To stay healthy. This stone has also been known as Dragon Blood Jasper. So certainly a good one to add to your collection, and it's a beautiful one too. It can be very useful when you need assistance in healing. Now let's move on to metallic elements, which I decided to add to the website, although I don't have images for them yet. But I thought they were quite crucial in learning about the metaphysical properties of different kinds of elements. Metals are often used when it comes to, singing bowls and for big bells, which are used in many temples. And what I find is that metaphysically, they're quite interesting to watch when it comes to seeing the ringing effect it can have on our energy frequencies. So I wanted to show you an example here. Let's have a look at tin, because they're often combined with copper to create bronze, for these bells and singing bowls and such. We'll start off right here in the second paragraph. Now, in regards to their metaphysical properties, tin is quite useful in the sense that it has a way of going into your energy and working on your energy frequencies, which can cause a slight vibration in your energy. This vibration then allows your energy to flow in a more subtle way. Therefore, your energy frequencies become free, in a sense. Your energy frequencies are typically contained in a field within the circumference of about 2 meters outside your body. Therefore, those close to you have an effect on your mood and such, and the same goes for you in regards to affecting their energy. Therefore, if you hold on to a metallic container made of tin, or even a tin foil,
Your energy will vibrate according to the frequency or rate of tin, and your energy will flow out of that 2 meters in diameter circumference around your body, which then allows your energy to make more contact with other people's energy field. This contrasts from the famous scene in the film Signs by M. Night Shyamalan, where the characters put on a tinfoil hat to shield their brainwaves. Rather than containing your energy, it has a way of helping your energy flow out and about, touching other people's energy who are further away from you and making more contact with them energetically. What's also nice about tin is that its ringing effect is highly vibrational. It creates an environment within your energy that is not favorable for negative, unwanted frequencies to cling onto you, essentially making you feel freer and refreshed at the same time. Now moving on to tin's uses with other metallic materials found within the Earth's crust. You see, tin's reaction, let's say with copper, which is used together to create bronze, will have a metaphysical effect on your energy which is different from that of tin alone. With copper, it has a way of energetically working on your frequencies to be more, let's say, radical, in the sense that your energy starts to vibrate at a stronger than normal state of frequency and therefore will do a thorough job of rattling off any unwanted frequencies that won't want to be held in such condition. So let's say you want to do some healing work on yourself or others. Well, copper itself goes in to put more energy behind your healing frequencies to initiate that healing process so that your body can go into full healing mode. Now, tin will go in and rattle off any unwanted frequencies that may slow down your healing process or cause you to feel irritated or down about something. So, a perfect combination to work with when doing healing work. As for another kind of assistance, I would say bronze, or both tin and copper, will help you see better too. If you're looking to see anything related to energy, then this is a good combination for you because it will focus your energy together to help you see in a more amped state, therefore allowing you to see more than you usually see. Let's just say that copper amps up your seeing ability and other abilities along with that, and tin simply removes any unwanted frequencies that get in the way of seeing at times. So, not a bad combo to have.
In many Eastern cultures, they ring in the new year with a set of bronze bells, some large, some small. It was interesting to watch a video of a huge one rung in Japan at a Buddhist temple. Now, what would the sound of that bell or singing bowls do for your energy? Well, what I saw was that the sound reverberated through the air and had an effect on people's energy in the sense that I saw their frequencies ringing or shaking, whichever way you want to say it, and it was like it had like this washing effect on them. And what I mean by that is that it was helping individuals remove any unwanted negative vibes or frequencies clinging on to them. So with copper, it had an interesting effect on tin in such that the high frequency, the high frequency from tin that was reverberating throughout the air and in a sense shaking up people's frequencies was amped by perhaps tenfold or more. It reached out to people who are further away from the bell. So it makes sense to have that as a ritual to bring in the new year, right? It's like receiving a bath, cleaning up your energy and having this fresh start. So you got to wonder, how do they know about that? Or do they know about that? Do they see that working on people's energy? Where did this tradition come from? How far back does it go? Did it start at a time when people recognized energy or were familiar with it? It makes you wonder. Well, anyway, you can sort of see how these elements that make up the Earth's crust have an impact on us, and if we wish to do so, they can have an impact on our daily life once we acknowledge how useful they are or how useful they can be in regards to understanding our own energy frequencies and the Earth's, because we are compatible in many different ways. So that's all for now. You can have a look at our stone energy page if you have any interest in stones and want to try it out for yourself. And what I mean by that is, test your abilities. See what sensations, thoughts, and information you can get from the stone and compare that information with what's on the website. And you'll find that in many cases, some pieces of information will, hit the spot or, match up. So don't worry if you can't feel much, because that's normal at the beginning. We need to first become desensitized to the world around us in order to tune into Earth's energy frequencies. This is the first step in picking up on what's going on around you when it comes to seeing energy. Well, thank you very much for stopping by our Metaphysical Awakening channel, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Think of a moment when you experience what is considered out of the norm, and ask yourself, would that be considered a metaphysical moment that you had experienced? Well, take care of yourself, be happy and be good to yourself. Have a wonderful day. Bye.